So this is going to be the first video in a series I hope to continue as long as I can, where I share a synth with you that I've made, varying style, and sometimes it will be recreating a famous synth, but most of the time it will probably be just a synth that I come up with that I like. Yeah, I'm just going to share with you some creative process, and at the end of it you should have a new synth in your arsenal to mess around with and stuff. And anyways, here's the first synth. Hope you like it. So anyways, that's the synth, and now we're going to recreate it. And yeah, so to start, I'm opening up a new instance of Reason, starting with an instance of Thor, and it's an initialized patch, so be aware of that, or reset device is what it's now called. Sounds like this. To reset your device, you right click and go down to reset device. I probably won't remember to show you that every time, so just be aware of that. And wavetable oscillators are what I'm going to use. I'm going to use two. I'm going to be using a sawtooth wave and a square wave. And so to do that, well, first I'm going to turn on both oscillators. I'm going to turn off the crossfades and bring one all the way up. That will create a sawtooth wave, and then one sort of 3/4 of the way around will give me a square wave. So, and I'm actually going to bring the sawtooth wave up an octave. Right now it's polyphonic, meaning I could play multiple notes, which I don't actually want for this synth. Actually, just for this instance, you can mess around with it, but for the example, I use mono retrig, and it makes it so that I can play a note. Every time I play a new note, it overrides the old note. Which worked well for bass lines and stuff like that. So anyways, that's that. Next, we want to turn this into a sort of plucky sound. So right now we have this. And now we want to use the low pass filter to make it sort of plucky. To do that, we're going to bring down the frequency a bit. And then we're going to bring up the envelope all the way. Still not very plucky, and that's mainly because the filter envelope needs to be adjusted. So I'm going to bring down the sustain and release, and then I'm going to bring down the decay quite a bit. Around there, I think. Gives a nice pluckiness. And now I'm going to adjust the attack, and I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. So around there, I think. That just adds a nice little effect. I don't know, to me it sounds like a reverse C sound. It sort of whomps into the pluck, which I like. And there's only one other thing I think I did, and that was turn on the chorus. And I automated the dry wet knob to make it either sound like it's around your head or right in your face. So that's a nice effect to use. One other thing is the pitch bend I used at the end of each phrase, and I just had the range on 1, so it just pitches it slightly, which I think is a cool effect. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Thor. Then we throw on a Scream 4 distortion. And again, this is an initialized patch. And I went to tube distortion, and I brought the P1 and P2 all the way up. And I brought the damage control a little bit down. but I brought it up as an effect. So like the end of phrases, I would bring it up just to make it sound more intense at those times. One other thing is, or the final thing actually, the final device, or one of the final devices. I think I have one other device on here, but I add on a reverb. That is very extreme, so I'm going to bring down the dry wet quite a bit. Going to bring down the size quite a bit. Going to bring up the damp all the way. And bring down the decay a little bit. So that's a cool effect. I think I automated the dry wet as well. And the final thing that I like to do is I like to just throw on a maximizer to get a rough idea of where I'm at on the level. And I could boost it, and if there's ever a time where I'm boosting up the volume by increasing distortion or something, it's a good way to sort of stop it from clipping. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, that's pretty much that. I think at this point I get into the sequencer window and start messing around with the sound there. Instead of recording a new sequence, I'm actually just going to use this synth line that I used over in the example, just to be consistent. And I'm going to paste this here. So to explain what I'm doing here is I'm pretty much just playing octaves in a rhythmic pattern. So actually that was not the right key. But anyways, it's pretty basic, and it just goes down by 2 semitones every once in a while, just to make it sound a little interesting. And I brought the tempo up a decent amount, something like that. That's that, and now I can get into automation. So at this point, the way that I come up with different ideas for what to automate is I'll just sort of mess around, adjust knobs, and see what creates an interesting sound or creates an interesting sort of effect. So turning down that envelope amount is something that creates a nice low-pass filter effect, and so I'm going to automate that. Before I go to actual automating that, I'm going to mess around with other things. The chorus dry wet I wanted to do. The decay actually I wanted to do on here. Bring that back to where it was. I want to do the pitch bend, and I think that's it for the Thor. I did want to do the damage control, and I did want to do the reverb. So now that I have that, I'm going to come back into this window and sort of plan out the sort of sound I want to do. So the first one was the filter envelope amount, and that was to create a sort of low pass effect, and I'm going to sort of start out the sound with that. So something like that, have it down a bit, have it slowly being brought in, and then come up quickly at the end. I'm just going to bring that to the end. Okay, that does that. Chorus dry wet, I'm going to have it, actually I'm going to have it fairly high. And I'm going to have it slowly being coming down, and towards the end of this it will start speeding up and then cut out completely. At the end of that, to get right in your face when this hits. And envelope decay. So this is something that creates an interesting sound. It makes it less plucky and more like a synth. And so actually what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to have it come up just every once in a while, just to add a little bit more interestingness to the sequence. So I'll have it there, I'll have it come up a bit, plateau, and then at the end come back down to sort of sound like it goes back to how it was. And I want to make sure that this beginning and end are at the same level. So I'm gonna actually hear that in one of these sections over here. Like that. And I'm actually gonna have this happen like that. Okay, now the pitch bend is a cool effect. I'm going to have it at the end of each of these phrases, and I'm just going to have it pretty simple. I'm going to have it start at normal pitch, start at the beginning. I'm going to have it come up slowly to like 3/4 of the way through this, and actually all the way up 3/4 of the way through it, and then it's going to come back down at the end, back to 0. Something like that. See how that sounds? Sounds good, and I'm going to have that at the end of each of these phrases. So sounds good. And then I'm going to have the distortion be turned up at the end of each of these. So start like a little bit higher. Start at the very beginning, and it's just going to come sort of straight up. That's probably a little bit too much. Something like that. And see how that sounds. So that sounds good like that. I could make it turn around as well, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. Yeah, that should be fine. And then finally for the reverb, it's going to pretty much follow what this the chorus is doing, I think. So it's going to sound like it's far away at the beginning. Slowly be coming down. Slowly be coming down. And quickly at the end. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so anyways, that's pretty much how I did it in the initial video. I added some drums, but you can add your own drums however you like. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave this video here. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you use this in some new way that you think is really cool, then let me know, and I'd love to hear it. Anyways, that's it for this video, and thanks for watching.